Good evening. My name is Bronwyn Rout and I'm the Chair of the Board of Deaf Services based in Queensland.
And I'm Michael Bonham, Chair of the Finance and Audit Committee of the Board of the Deaf Society based in New South Wales. I'm here on behalf of our Chair, Brian House. To begin this special video, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. We'd also like to acknowledge and pay respect to the members of the deaf community in Australia who preserve their rich heritage, culture and our language, Auslan. We also acknowledge custodians of Auslan, promoting awareness, equality and access through sign language. Through Auslan, we inspire future leaders in the deaf community to continue the legacy and heritage.
We're here together with a very exciting announcement for Australia's deaf community. On behalf of the boards and the organisations which we represent, we are very pleased to announce that today, Leonie Jackson, CEO of the Deaf Society, and Brett Casey, CEO of Deaf Services, have met with staff and announced their plan to merge both organisations. With this merge, we look forward to working with and for deaf, hard of hearing and deaf-blind Australians through the creation of the country's largest whole-of-life service provider.
As representatives of our respective boards, we'd like to express our unequivocal support to this landmark decision. These discussions have been underway since early 2019. We would like to reassure the members, clients and staff of the Deaf Society and Deaf Services that both our boards and a dedicated subcommittee have extensively considered this decision. After a thorough process of investigating and auditing any and all financial and legal risks and risks to the community, I'm very pleased to say that we fully endorse this decision and believe it will strengthen the already significant bond between the organisations forged by a common vision and purpose.
With shared history, vision and strengths, as well as over 200 years of proven community support, we will together create a new organisation to represent and advocate for deaf Australians and deliver a greater range of services and programs to meet the community's needs. This is an incredible opportunity for all members of the Deaf Society and Deaf Services, our clients and the deaf community nationally. This merge will see our service provision and advocacy grow and strengthen over time, delivering positive outcomes for all deaf Australians.
As we move forward with this process, there will be an extraordinary general meeting or EGM held in New South Wales on Friday the 6th of March, during which Deaf Society life and financial members will have an opportunity to show their support for this merger. I look forward to seeing our members at the EGM and discussing this exciting news with you in person. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Breda Carty. I've been involved in the Deaf Society for many years and in different ways. I'm a member, I was a board director, I also led the Centenary History Project when we celebrated 100 years in 2013. We were able to organise a celebration, develop a website and preserve our history. I became a life member. Now I'm honoured to be the vice patron. For several years now, we've seen the funding environment change. I watched many not-for-profit organisations struggle to make ends meet. They've cut or also closed down. I've been concerned about the many different deaf organisations and how they'll survive this environment. So when Leonie told me about the proposal to merge the Deaf Society and Deaf Services, I thought this was a very positive move. Both organisations have very similar goals and values. Merging will actually make a stronger organisation. It means it'll be less vulnerable in the changing funding environment. It'll provide more security for clients and for staff, and more opportunities for new projects. And both organisations already have a good relationship. I myself, grew up in Queensland and I have many links to the deaf community there. And I know many who also are the same. But like you, I value the strong history and identity of the Deaf Society. And I don't want to see that disappear or become blurred and confused into two organisations. Both organisations have worked very hard to preserve the history, to celebrate it and to teach it. The Deaf Society has a great website that can showcase its history, and Deaf Services have an excellent book that they've printed about theirs. But I'm confident that each organisation's identity and history will be maintained. We will respect the background and journey of each organisation. Also, this merger will provide more resources to be able to look after our history collection and to support new ways to display and to exhibit them. I look forward to seeing a new, strong organisation, and the Deaf Society will be presenting their history, identity, and that will be continued to be recognised and developed. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bobby Blackson. I've been involved with Deaf Services for many years, initially using interpreting services and then becoming a member. I joined the board as a board director and later became president of the board. Now I am emeritus chairperson and I'm so honoured to receive this. Deaf Services has gone through many changes over the past 120 years. Name changes, moving offices, expansion across Queensland, staff growth, challenges, difficulties, successes. Australia has a very proud history of having a deaf organisation in each state for many years, and Deaf Services has always had a good relationship with each one. During my time on the board, we saw huge changes in the not-for-profit sector, and this has affected many disability organisations. We have seen our friends in other deaf not-for-profit organisations struggle with the changes, and some have closed or already merged with others. When Brett shared the news with me about merging Deaf Society with Deaf Services, and that he had been having long conversations with Leonie and that their boards also, I thought that it was perfect timing in this environment. Both Deaf Services and Deaf Society have very similar values and goals. By merging their combined resources, we'll deliver a powerful range of services to deaf people and their families across Queensland and New South Wales. The deaf community in both Queensland and New South Wales will benefit immensely. There is also a strong sense of responsibility toward the rich history of both Deaf Services and Deaf Society. And big respect for the people who have contributed to both organisations and the deaf community in general over the past 100 years, and this will be preserved and valued. I'm confident that in the right hands, this will continue and, at the same time, create a new future for our future generations. This is a very exciting time for the deaf community in Australia. There is so much potential and growth ahead of us. I'm excited. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Leonie Jackson, CEO of the Deaf Society.
And I'm Brett Casey. I'm CEO of Deaf Services.
As you've now seen, Brett and I are very pleased to announce our intention to merge the Deaf Society and Deaf Services. Our two organisations coming together will create an unparalleled opportunity to represent and advocate for the Australian deaf community and deliver a greater range of services and programs in New South Wales, the ACT and Queensland.
We are proud to say that this new organisation will become Australia's largest whole-of-life service provider, working with all deaf, deaf-blind, hard of hearing and hearing people and their families today and into the future. This merger of the Deaf Society and Deaf Services will continue our strong commitment to making sure there's a focus on deaf individuals and the deaf community in everything that we do.
So how has this come about? In 2019, Deaf Services and the Deaf Society partnered to deliver the first deaf-centred aged care service in New South Wales. This partnership enabled both organisations to speed up the development of this program and the provision of this critical service for deaf seniors. In this instance, our partnership was able to identify a community need and react quickly with the combined knowledge and resources of both organisations. Deaf Services and the Deaf Society see the success of the Ageing Well program as an example of what our organisations can do when we work together, and this has led to the exploration of how we could align more closely in the future. The experience of launching Ageing Well as a collaborative project was the first step, but the ongoing benefits of this merge will be seen by deaf, deaf-blind and hard of hearing people.
Coming together to form a single organisation, the Deaf Society and Deaf Services will be looking at and drawing from each other's valuable set of services and successes and experiences to deliver the best possible services to the deaf community at the same very high standard that you've known in the past and going into the future. This may include also the establishment of some new services. For instance, an early intervention and therapy support for children and their families. The development of a more robust RTO, or Registered Training Organisation, with educational opportunities for deaf and hearing people. A greater range of Auslan interpreting options, where and when they are needed. Some of these new programs may take some time to plan and establish and fully realise, and also to ensure that our staff are able to maintain the exceptional levels of service provision to our valued clients, you, the deaf community. But from day one of our successful merge, we look forward to delivering a few more opportunities for you. This includes interpreting for seniors. This is a program offering free interpreting for groups of seniors in social settings and also for community activities. We also have the Deaf Lottery Grant Program, which provides up to $250,000 a year across a range of grant and sponsorship funding opportunities, and funding will be open to all community members every year. As well as continuing to grow and develop the Ageing Well program that Leonie just mentioned earlier, it will be the only aged care program in Australia offering culturally appropriate in-home support to deaf seniors in Auslan. This merger will also facilitate the creation of a great and dedicated advocacy resource aimed at strengthening partnerships at all levels of government and influencing the national agenda to deliver increased equity for deaf people going into the future.
There will be a lot of questions about this process and what it means for our members, staff and clients. We would like to stress that no one will be worse off or disadvantaged in our new merged organisation. Today we spoke to all staff to inform them that there will be no redundancies during the merge process. and all of our valued staff will have a place in the new organisation.
For all our members and clients of both the Deaf Society and Deaf Services, it will be business as usual. But also, it will be business done better. We look forward to providing continuity of service for all our clients throughout this merge process as the two organisations become one. Naturally, this will lead to even better outcomes and more robust service availability in the near future. In addition, the deaf community will have enhanced access to increased resources, including interpreting, advocacy representation, and grant funding, as well as services in general. All of our financial members of both the Deaf Society and Deaf Services have the opportunity to become a member of the new organisation. This will be at no cost for the first year. And, in addition, we warmly welcome new memberships as well. Until this point, your membership with the Deaf Society or Deaf Services will be upheld. Further communications will discuss how this membership transition will be handled. Importantly, your membership will now grant you a say in an organisation with increased power to advocate for your community, to help steer the organisation and where it should go. We really want to see the most positive impact possible on the thousands of deaf people who utilise our services.
We are very excited by the opportunity presented by this merger and to discuss these opportunities with you. To realise this opportunity, I would like to invite all life and financial members of the Deaf Society to vote on 3 special resolutions at the extraordinary general meeting on Friday, 6th of March. This EGM is our members' opportunity to show their support for this merge and have a say in the future of our new organisation. In the lead up to the EGM, we will be hosting a New South Wales member consultation session to discuss the opportunities presented by the merge.
Deaf Services financial members are not required to attend this special meeting, the EGM that Leonie mentioned, that will occur in New South Wales. But we do feel it is right for the both of us to engage with our financial members in Queensland as well, to give you the opportunity to ask us any questions you have about what's happening with the merge, and also to learn about the future of Deaf Services and Deaf Society merging as one. We soon plan to host a Q&A session to host any of your questions on a Facebook page. And that'll be your first opportunity now to ask any of your questions and hear the answers to those. We look forward to talking to you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.